It is hot again here. And yeah, to avoid melting, or at least to take my mind off it, we are playing Sunny Cafe because it is sunny. Hey Alkesh, hopefully you are keeping cool, but I know that the heat wave is covering Europe as well. Most of Europe, mainland Europe. I saw the heat maps, so I can imagine that you are probably also a puddle. It is very fractionally cooler inside by like half a degree than it is outside, and I'm hoping it stays that way, but I'm not holding out any hope. I have 2 fans on me, and we may end the stream early so I can go and have a cold bath, but we may also continue. It really depends on how it's going. So yeah, firstly, Sunny Cafe is a visual novel, so it is a Storytime with Joe stream. This one came out on the 27th of March 2024. It's an Ideate Xbox game, so thank you very much to Ideate Xbox, developed by Game Nobility and East Asia Soft, published by East Asia Soft. Price-wise, we're looking at £12.49 or $14.99. It has been on sale before. It is also available on PC and PlayStation and Switch. We're playing on Xbox, and those prices were on Xbox today. And there are 38 achievements, 33 main game, 5 in a title update, all of which are obtainable. The title update appears to be some sort of board game type situation, so that looks cool. And yeah, so discover love through passionate Taiwanese coffee knowledge, culture, and customs. On a summer afternoon, the thunder showers fall mercilessly. Oops. Let me load up the game. Fall mercilessly, and the bells in the cafe ring. A boy regains his senses, suddenly noticing a soaked girl standing at the door. Sunny Cafe is a tale of accidental encounters, acquaintances, and eventual parting. A love text adventure game that uses Taiwanese coffee knowledge as a catalyst for the cycle.
是你我的交错点。
Oh, hello.
是你让缠绕着我的乌云消散，转变为晴天。那么这间咖啡馆就以你喜欢的晴天为名。晴天咖啡馆。
Cycle of interaction is an analogy for life itself. As I was saying as it started talking. I didn't know it was going to start talking. It has theme music. You don't say it, no one will know. So yeah, this is a visual novel. Hopefully we can narrate it. I missed what it was saying at the beginning, but it's something about rainy day, and we named the cafe after the phenomenon. So it's called Sunny Cafe. I am absolutely baked in a bad way. It is ridiculously warm here. The fans are moving the air, but at this point it's just hot air. But it's better than sitting in hot, stagnant air, you know, so. Dehumidifier didn't really help. It blew out cold air to start with, and then it went warm. So I was like, okay, well that's unhelpful. Controls. Perfect. Alright. Xbox transparency. Autoplay speed, message speed. Audio. Alright, overall volume, system volume, ambient volume, music volume, turn the music volume down a little. Oh, voiceover. Okay, well maybe it's a story time when we don't have to do the story. Voice. Oh. Okay, well we don't know who they are, but we'll see if it's in English. It may not be in English, and then we'll turn it all down. Gallery. Background music. I don't know what PV is. We've gone into PV. I didn't. Do we want to know what? Did we want to do PV?
那年雨季，
Ah, maybe it's the thing. That rainy season was the intersection between you and me. It's you who caused the cloud around me to dissipate and turned the sky sunny.
那么这间咖啡馆
Thus, this cafe is named for that special sunny day.
今天咖啡馆
Sunny Cafe. Maybe PV just replays the title thingy? Ah, I think it's just playing the title thingy. Well, that's good. Staff. Okay. Oh, this is the credits. Okay, well, I'm just going to do the credits while I just go and grab some more water. Okay. Okay. And right, there's also a mini game. Okay, let's start. And also, did I say hi, Sir Khalid? I thought I did, but maybe I just said it in my head. Chapter 1, Encountering in the Shower. As the bright September afternoon sun casts down rays of shining light, the season to go back to school in Taiwan is starting. Walking among the students, you can feel the excitement and tension filling the air as they are about to embark on a new chapter of their lives. The luscious green branches on the side of the road sway in the breeze, intertwined with the sound of cicadas chirping, as if forming a symphony that only belongs to summer days. As I am just about to pass by the library entrance, a voice suddenly speaks softly behind me. Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the literature building? I think the voice over is not in English, so we'll just turn it down so it's still there. Ooh. Nope, just want to go back. There we go. We'll leave it on so that it's on there, but if it's distracting, do let me know. I've turned the game volume down enough that it should be balanced. The person behind me lightly taps me on the shoulder. I turn around to see a petite girl only coming up to about my shoulders. She has long curls that are inky black. She now squints her large and vivid eyes into tiny playful slits as if she is trying to make something out clearly. Or it's sunny. Perhaps she is short-sighted and forgot to bring her glasses. Her waist-length hair ruffles gently in the breeze as her tiny hands clutch tightly at the ends of her skirt. A faint blush colours her cheeks as though she is slightly flustered. Or it's a sunny day and you're tall and she's squinting because she has to look at the sun to look at you, and it's maybe slightly windy and she doesn't want her skirt to blow up. Reading into things. She just asked, literature building? Are you talking about the literature building? I look at the girl in front of me who is too shy to raise her head and ask myself, is she a freshman? I juggle the possibilities inside my mind. Head down this direction until you reach the end, then take a right turn and you'll be at the front door of the literature building. Hesitant to speak, I point to my left as an awkward mood hangs in the air. Thank you. Hey everyone. The girl waves her hand and shows a shy smile, then starts walking towards the literature building. Oh, I've only just started, but yeah, sure. Also, did that sound work again? I think I heard the sound, so it just apparently magically fixed itself on its own. Should have put my water in the fridge. Look, lukewarm water is not really great, but it's water. some reason, I can't take my eyes off her until she rounds the corner and disappears from my sight. Hey! Bow and woo! Alvin Zhang suddenly appears and puts an arm around my shoulder. Ha! How was it? I got you, right? Looking at you checking out the new girls. Alvin Zhang is looking at me with a sly grin on his face as he's talking. Nah, you're overthinking it. After collecting myself, I glanced at Alvin Zhang and asked, "You want to grab some coffee?" I turned my head to face Alvin Zhang hanging on my shoulder and cleverly changed the subject. Huh? For real? I'm down for some coffee. I haven't gone over to your place in quite a while. I really want to see what you've been up to all summer. Alvin Zhang, why do we have to keep saying the full name like that? I mean, is that tradition? Just call him Alvin? If he's my friend? Anyway, Alvin keeps going on and his hands remain firmly hooked on my shoulder. You'll find out soon enough. My eyes glance towards the shadows cast on the ground by the sunlight. Excuse me. As the corners of my mouth curl slightly upwards with a hint of a smile, I quickly avert my gaze and stare directly ahead. Let's go. I got something for you to try today. I've been working on this throughout my entire summer vacation. You're gonna love it. Time flew by so quickly, and before we knew it, the rainy season was upon us. Dark storm clouds are gathering on the grey and foggy horizon, signaling the coming of heavy torrents of rain. I haven't seen that girl since the time I first met her. Thoughts about her linger at the back of my mind. I close the diary in my hand and look out the window. The once luscious leaves have been struck down by the heavy rain. The air is thickening with dark stormy clouds, shrouding the sky in an even gloomier shade. The dim streetlights, now contrasted against the dreary sky, appear brighter as their blurred reflections in the puddles add a bit of warmth to the surroundings. I get up and walk over to the cabinet, absent-mindedly picking up a mug and gently wiping it down. My thoughts drift into the day I met her. You literally met this girl for like 3 seconds and she asked you for directions. You're obsessing, mate. The day happened to be a bright, sunny day, the earth baking in the blazing sunlight as the clear blue sky stretched as far as the eyes could see, dotted only by a few clumps of clouds. I had a light bag strapped to my back and was planning on directly heading back home after finishing the only 2 classes I had in the afternoon, as I had done countless times before. But that day, unlike any other day, I was stopped by someone tapping me on the shoulder. The bell on the glass door of the cafe suddenly rings. I come back to my senses, and only then do I realize that the person who opened the glass door of the cafe and is now standing in the doorway, soaked to the bone, is the girl from before. Now you can obsess over her, because you've seen her twice. That's a total of 30 seconds. Welcome. In that instance, I stand up, shocked and unable to react. And yes, I probably am going to make fun of this book. Or this game. I do that. The writing feels oddly formal, which probably means that the translation is vaguely literal, rather than being sort of semantic. Someone just really wrote a very verbose text. I do love stories. I really did enjoy that Miracle Snack Shop one. That was fun. And the Swordbreaker one was fun, but annoying with the choose your own adventure and some really awkward mini-games. This one, you know, this is going to be like a little sim thing with the coffee, and I'm hoping we get some good food picks. But yes, the writing is oddly formal and verbose, so it is making me amused. In that instance, I stand up shocked and unable to react. So you stood up, that's a reaction. After a moment of stunned silence, I managed to suppress my inner surprise and say to the girl by the door in a feigned calm voice, "Got caught in the rain?" Oh my god. That was so many words just to say what he said. "If you want, I could fetch you some towels. There are some paper napkins over there you could dry your face with first." "Thanks, sorry to bother you." Excuse me. Oh, the heat also makes me sleepy, along with everything else. The girl is drenched from head to toe, with the clothes on her body look like they've been dipped in water without a single dry patch. She carefully reaches out with her hands to pick up the napkins on the table, gently wiping herself as if she's afraid of soiling the tables with the rainwater dripping off her body. I need to take an entire, yuck. Wash my cushions after this. Give them a good air. Sweating all on them. I go back to my room and grab a cream. I can word. But yeah, how is everyone? It's Sunday, I think. I'm fairly certain it's Sunday. It's Sunday. It's ridiculously freaking warm. And yeah, I really dislike the world right now because it's too warm, and this is England and it should not be this warm, and we are killing the earth, and that is scary. But yeah, also Monday and Tuesday are going to be even worse, and I'm just not looking forward to it. But it is going to thunder on Wednesday, but then it is just going to start getting warm again after that. I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Anyway, I go back to my room and grab a clean towel. There we go. Deciding to bring a clothes after spotting one lying around. A clothes? A jumper, maybe? Take these. As I hand the things over, I accidentally touch her fingertips, now pale and cold as ice due to the rain. Thank you. I'm really sorry to bother you. She replies with a somewhat awkward laugh. With her head slightly lowered, she nervously clenches the clothes in her hands. Oh, just clothes. Okay. Do you have a restroom that I can use? The words slowly coming out of her mouth and the gestures she's making all remind me of the day when we first met. That day she asked me for directions in pretty much the same manner. With that thought on my mind, I give a slight chuckle. It's through that door over there. The chuckle causes her to raise her head and look at me with a puzzled expression on her face. Sorry, my wrist is vibrating at me. There are some towels and blankets over there. Might as well dry your hair while you're at it. I say to her while brewing the coffee. She heads over to a chair after thanking me with a grateful smile, pulls a blanket over her shoulders and starts gently wiping down her hair. I stir the coffee in my hands, my eyes unwittingly glancing in her direction. Oh, she's wearing one of his shirts. And I don't know, some leggings or shorts? It's hard to tell because there's a weird checkerboard situation going on with the text box. But yeah, I mean, absolutely getting soaked. Yeah. Hey, Vlad. Oh, there. Do you drink coffee? Sorry, I don't really like bitter things. She makes an expression that almost seems like she can taste the black coffee in her mouth, the brow on her tiny face wrinkling as her nose twitches, looking very much like a child. Her changing expression is so interesting that the corners of my mouth can't help but rise as I watch. Then you could try some coffee that isn't bitter. I have a friend like you who can't handle bitter tastes, but he really likes this kind of coffee. Want to try? Having finished speaking, I turn around to face her. Okay, let me help you during the tasting storyline to learn about coffee. It will help your progress. Okay, weird little... I mean, you look like a ghost with some sort of bondage necklace thing going on. Click on the items you think stand out. You can obtain and view knowledge awards, unlock hidden storylines and secret rewards. Okay. Dripper. Alright. The three most common drippers are fan-shaped, cone-shaped, and wave-shaped. Right. The knowledge you have collected will be saved in the awards list. Try your best to collect them. Touching some objects will give you insight on them. If you happen to miss out on an Easter egg, then you will not get the reward. Seize the moment, although you can rewind and come back to obtain them. Alright, after finishing the tips, you can find them on your rewards history archive. I will also help you sort out different kinds of tips. If If you forget how to do something, click the question mark above to replay one more time. During your journey, if you want to know your current progress, click Awards to return to the awards list. See you soon. Okay. Okay. Alright, so... Did we actually pick? Oh, we did. There we are. Okay, so different types of dripper. Ah. The dripper holes will determine how fast the water flows and whether the extraction will be light or strong. Usually when the water flows fast, the extraction is more light and vice versa. Cool. Coffee that isn't bitter. She curiously glances at the half-made drink in my hand, pondering for a moment before nodding her head. Let me try some then. Sure thing. I respond with a hint of laughter. Get behind the bar and brew some coffee. Okay, let me just click on some things first. Ah, okay. I don't like bitter flavours, so coffee's never been my thing. I heard you serve coffee here that's not bitter. If I remember correctly, someone recommended a coffee bean that's sweet, has notes of brown sugar and a fruity flavour. Does it really taste as sweet as fruit juice? You want to brew a nice cup of coffee as a barista? Besides getting to know different coffee beans, you also need to pay attention to what kind of coffee the customers like. There are rumours that the ending is determined by how high or low you score. Okay. I'm just select coffee preferences. Coffee beans according to the preference of the customers. Different beans have unique flavours and textures. Let me introduce to everyone the first coffee bean, Colombia. Coffee bean is a light roasted coffee bean. It's processed as pulp to naturally and it's time consuming and requires skill. Do you remember why the young lady is afraid to drink coffee? Colombia. This coffee bean has ginger lily, sucrose, brown sugar, and a juicy sweet flavour. It's perfect for young ladies who don't like bitterness. After selecting coffee beans suitable for the young lady, click the weigh button to move on to the next stage. Okay. Washed Colombian brown sugar, plum jam, berries, sweeteners. Okay. Things that look out of place. The amount of coffee ground will determine how strong the body is in the cup of coffee. Be careful. Click start. The indicator will start moving up and the coffee beans will be added to the measuring cup. If you accidentally pick the wrong one, don't worry, you can redo to start over. When making coffee, you have to pay much attention to how much coffee grounds to add for this cup of coffee. Preparing the coffee grounds, you can click grind to go on to the next step. Okay. It's way too much. I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna... Nope. That's better. 13. Now let's put the coffee beans we just weighed in the grinder mill. Okay. Coarseness or fineness of the coffee affects the aroma, flavour, and even the mouthfeel. Okay. Coffee grind size for blended coffee is at 2.5. Try to turn the knob. Once you have the grind size, click the power button to start grinding. And finally, at the finish line, click results to deliver this aromatic coffee to the customer. Size of the coffee grounds. Okay, put in coffee beans. Okay, results. A+, excellent. I dislike coffee not because it's bitter, just I really just dislike the smell taste of coffee. Any coffee. It's not my thing. Just the smell coming from the coffee beans. It's making me look forward to it. The sweet aroma it gives off is relaxing. If it's as good as you're selling it, then that would be splendid. All this talk is getting me all anxious. Is brewing the next step? Is there a trick to brewing coffee? Yeah, choosing beans that suit the customer is very important, but the brewing process is just as important. For example, if the water flows more slowly, the interaction between the hot water and the ground coffee is extended, meaning the coffee will have a richer taste. I didn't know there were so many details. Cool. Okay, before you pour the water, make sure you put a paper filter in the shop's chosen dripper and place the dripper onto the bottom vessel. Pick up the kettle, then click and hold the paper filter to wet it. The paper filter on the right will show which parts of the filter are wet. Continue to pour until the entire filter is wet. Mostly use a gooseneck kettle. It's great for beginners and helps you control the flow of the water. Pick up the kettle. Press and hold. Pre-warm the bottom vessel, something. The process of pouring hot water and letting it drip into the bottom vessel is called pre-warming. Brewing coffee is all about temperature control. When you're pre-warming the vessel, you can check the fragrance of the coffee grounds, let the customer smell the coffee, and talk about flavor profile. Hey, Bilius. We're making coffee. I can't stand coffee, but we're making it. Don't forget to dump out the water used for pre-warming before putting in the coffee grounds. Click Start to begin flipping flavor cards to match them. You can look at all the flavor cards for a few seconds at the beginning. After that, you have to rely on your memory. Okay. Pour is a coffee brewing method and a method to extract coffee. There are a lot of words in it. There are more words than need to be in this novel. There are many methods of brewing. Each way has its own way. Each way of extracting has its own flavor. Okay, try circulating towards the middle. Okay. Circular pouring method. After blooming, when you pour in the circular motion, it helps extract the coffee. When using the we start from the outside and move towards the inside. Okay. If you go out of bounds while pouring, you will lose points, and then click deliver. Okay. Okay, apparently I didn't start it off properly. And use a circular motion going out to bloom the coffee grounds. This water flow makes the extraction from a coffee have a strong mouthfeel. Okay. Oops. Too much trying to read the tutorial, not enough actually getting this correct. Okay. Results. Alright, A+ again. Colombian. Strength, balanced, acidic, fragrance, aroma. Okay. Alright, now we need to pass the cup to the tiny little girl, who is literally shorter than the chairs. That disturbs me. The aroma of the coffee is making the girl anxious to taste the signature blend that just finished brewing. This cup of signature blend may make me fall in love with coffee again. If it's as good as you're selling it, then that would be splendid. After brewing the signature blend coffee, a fragrant aroma fills the cafe. The aroma of the signature blend combines a fruity sweetness and sourness with the coffee's richness, two seemingly different flavors that somehow blend perfectly together. I bring the steaming mug of signature blend to the table the girl is sitting at and sit down in a chair across from her, fingers crossed on the table in front of me. Better drink something hot so you don't catch a cold. Alright, thank you. She takes a sip of the signature blend. Her face, stiff from the cold, gradually relaxes into a milder expression. How's the taste? I ask her quietly, out of curiosity, with my face propped up by my hands, after seeing her drink the coffee. It tastes great. Thanks to the heat coming from the coffee, colour gradually returns to her pale cheeks. It really isn't bitter at all, she replies with a smile, hands tightly clasping the coffee mug. I stare at her for a moment without saying a word. My name's Bowen Wu, and you are? My name is Kathy Gu. She quickly glances at me as she replies, then goes back to staring at the coffee in her hands. I can tell she's purposefully avoiding my gaze. I think she might be feeling uncomfortable since she is not familiar with her surroundings. You seem kind of nervous. Huh, do I? I feel slightly guilty, seeing the dry expression on her face resulting from my abrupt question. It's raining cats and dogs today. It might even look like a typhoon to people who aren't aware. I intentionally look out the window as I casually try to change the subject, hoping to get her to open up with some small talk. Yeah, I had planned on heading home while braving the rain, but it's impossible with this heavy rain. Good thing my backpack is waterproof, otherwise all my books inside would be soaked. Suddenly remembering the books inside her bag, she takes them out of her bag and lays them on the table. She speaks, carefully inspecting them for water damage. I look at the books laid out on the table. They're all English magazines that I struggle with, as well as thick English novels. Are those all in English? Yeah, that's right. I love reading English novels. I'm not very good at English. I openly admit to her the fact that I am not very good at English. Oh my god! Seriously, did no one edit this? Did no one edit this? This is so painful. Sorry, everyone. Hopefully it's just good to listen to while you're all stewing, baking, marinating in the hot weather. But yeah, feel free to chat, feel free to lurk. It's all good. Probably have a break in a little bit and replenish my water because, you know, you got to keep hydrated in this heat. Is that so? After hearing that, I'm not very... Oh my god! She can't hide the disappointment that's written all over her delicate face. Though it looks like a great book. It is! A happy smile radiates from Kathy Goo's face as she enthusiastically responds. I'm just going to abandon surnames at this point. Kathy begins excitedly chatting about the contents of the book as I listen to the musical sound of her voice until the rain outside the window subsides. The grey and heavy clouds have vanished. What is left is the orange sky reflected in our eyes by the setting sun. As the afterglow of the setting sun falls on the bottom of her empty coffee mug, Kathy's eyes follow the rays of light out of the window. Ah, the rain has stopped. Thanks a lot. I should be heading back. I'll clean the clothes and return them tomorrow. Kathy says as she begins to search her bag for her wallet to pay for the coffee. That one is on the house. I grin, standing up and moving over to the door to wait for her. Thank you very much for your hospitality. She returns her wallet to her bag when she hears the firmness in my voice and gives me a cheerful smile. She walks over and stands next to me as I gently push open the front door to send her off. See you tomorrow. After she reaches the bottom of the stairs, she turns around to wave goodbye. I nod in response and watch until she disappears around the corner of the alley. I should bring a little present for the shop owner when I return his clothes tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Critical tip. Okay. Do my things, friend? Yeah. I don't know because I couldn't read them because they were too fast. Okay. I spent the whole day in class today with my head deep in thought, wondering how I could get more customers to try out our signature blend. Ever since the regulars at our cafe learned that my parents would be out of the country for a while, they suddenly visited a lot less. During this time, most visitors at our cafe more often prefer light meals paired with regular drinks. Origin Cafe without my parents' signature blend is like taking the coffee out of a coffee shop. Its frustration can be overbearing. It seems like it's about time I started cultivating my own loyal customer base. The question is how I should go about promoting my coffee. I mean, loyalty cards are always good. Promotions, maybe? I'm trying to run a cafe, not a supermarket. Hey, Bowen! And the sound of my classmate pulls me out of my thoughts. Class is over. The back door's already locked. Grab your things and head out the front. I watch him zip out the front door like a bat out of hell, never even bothering to look back, like he has to catch a train or something. Now I'm all alone in an empty classroom. The lights have long been turned off. I raise my head to look out the window. The drizzle that usually peppers the air is absent today, with a little sunlight shining dimly into the room, but even this could be counted as good weather these days. I pack all my stuff into my backpack and leave the classroom, locking the door behind me as I leave. I'm getting ready to head back to Origin. If I recall correctly, she mentioned yesterday that she would be returning the clothes today, though she didn't specify what time she would be coming. If she's already there, maybe I can make it if I hurry. As soon as this thought occurs to me, I subconsciously hasten my steps, trying to get back to the cafe as soon as possible. As I arrive at the cafe, I can see Kathy through the glass wall on the side of the cafe door, sitting at the bar with her back turned towards me and chatting with the shop manager. At that moment, I let out a sigh of relief, my tense emotions gradually subsiding. I take some deep breaths to calm my slightly frantic breathing, and I loop around the back alley and into the staff room through the back door. After changing into the white shirt and black trousers I wear for work, I've handedly brushed some loose strands of hair out of my face with my hands before walking out the staff room. Bowen, this young lady has been here for quite a while now. She says she's been looking for you. Benedict Wang quietly says to me when he sees me come out of the staff room. Got it. I turn to face Kathy and give her a polite nod. The moment our eyes meet, I see a smile brimming in her eyes, her lips curling upwards as she picks up and hands me a bag containing my sister's clothes. Thanks a lot for yesterday. If it weren't for you, I would probably be sick in bed today. It was nothing. Since you're here, why don't you stay for a bit before leaving? I smile back in response to her thanks. Sure. After replying, Kathy Goose suddenly lets out a small cry of surprise, as if she just remembered something. She takes a small, delicate, wrapped box small enough to fit in 2 hands out of her bag, places it in front of me. Ooh, we found espresso. I thought there was something there. I wonder if all the achievements are for unlocking the... yeah, I'm reckoning these are... Okay, well, there's some story stuff, but I think there's a lot of them that are for unlocking a D ranking. Oh dear, we don't want to get a D ranking for coffee. But yeah, and then there's some board gamey stuff. I don't know where that story bits comes in. Maybe it's just part of the story now. I don't know. Espresso. Yeah, I don't particularly care. Less caffeine, apparently. I thought that was sitting on the table. I'm like, that's new, that's new. Okay, RT is save. We're just gonna hit save. Okay. I know that we... what are we? I'm just gonna have a really quick break. I'm not going to put ads on because I can't put ads on, but I will be right back. Sorry, I'm back. It is warm, so, you know, just trying to keep cool. Splash water on my face and stuff. Oh yeah, box. This is to thank you for the coffee you treated me to yesterday. It was delicious. Kathy's expression reveals the gratitude in her eyes, reinforced in part by her particularly radiant smile. You're welcome. If you want to try some more, you're always welcome. But I can't always have you treat me, the girl in front of me says with a straight face, though you can somehow sense her happiness, which makes it hard not to chuckle. I'll be off then, Kathy says as she stands up and gets ready to leave. Benedict, almost as if on cue, brings Kathy a hot steaming mug of cocoa. At the same time, he also serves me an aromatic mug of black coffee. What's this? Kathy stares at me with a confused look on her face. Since you came all the way here, might as well have a drink before you go, I say to Kathy with a warm smile as she stares back at me, dumbfounded, unable to process what just happened. This won't do. Now I'll have to bring a present every time I visit. Kathy quietly mutters under her breath. Right now, her eyes are darting back and forth between the present and the hot cocoa in her hand, occasionally sneaking glances up at me. I sit there with my right hand clutching the handle of the coffee mug on the table and my left hand propping up the side of my face as my gaze falls on the panicking Kathy. Kathy, as if sensing my gaze, looks up and we stare at each other for a couple of seconds. Payment and gift seems doable. Also, congratulations on your watch streak, Bilius. Sorry I missed commenting on that. You may have just shared it, but I just saw it. You may not have just shared it, but I did just see it. But I did say hello to you at least. Sorry, it's really hot. My brain isn't particularly functioning. I have a meet and greet with the job for a job thingy tomorrow, and it's going to be like 32 degrees. Content. Sorry, it's too hot to think. Say what? Kathy gasps in surprise, then quickly covers her mouth. Hold up, that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say is... She frantically waves her arms around, desperately trying to explain herself, quite knowing how best to put it in words. Eventually she gives up and slumps her shoulders, forcing out 2 dry chuckles directed at me. Hey, Leaky. How about a slice of cake? Have you eaten already? Not yet. Hey, Sub. Kathy looks at me suspiciously. She's probably puzzled by my sudden question. How about a slice of cake? You really don't have to. She waves her hands to decline. We recently stocked up on some fresh strawberry cake, and let me tell you, it is absolutely delicious. Strawberry cake? Her hands visibly falter in their effort to turn down the offer when she hears the words strawberry cake. The expression on her face is also wavering. I get up and head straight for the dessert case. Picking up a white porcelain plate and putting a slice of strawberry cake on it. After placing a small silver fork near the cake, I return to my seat and place the cake in front of her. I mean, it's a coffee shop, so maybe I don't like coffee, but I do like strawberry cake, as long as it's not too sweet. But it's not necessarily going to give me pictures of the food, so it depends. Also, there are things you can click on that are out of place, that give us little pop-up-y thingies. It's too hot for coffee, Leaky. Go get an ice cream instead. It's much more sensible. Or have some iced water. I have some cold brewed tea in my fridge, which I'll fetch next time I have a break. Her eyes are staring glued to the strawberry cake on the white porcelain plate. Also, this visual novel uses way too many words. Like, way too many words. It needed to be copy edited and, like, reduced by 50%. There's a lot of repetition and it's very, very formal. But, you know, we are going with it so far. You're adding it to cold milk and ice. Oh, the coffee. Right, okay. I mean, I don't like coffee, whatever you do to it, so... But as long as you're having fun. Plump strawberries covered with droplets of water give off a translucent sheen, presenting a delicious appearance as they lie nestled in pure white whipped cream. I thought this was a cake. Why is it wet? Go ahead. In that case, don't mind if I do. It seems she is unable to resist the temptation of strawberries. From her demeanor, you can almost see her raise the white flag in surrender as she gives in. It's so adorable. She picks up the fork on her plate and cuts off a small chunk to put in her mouth. What else is she going to do? Stick it on her head? Closing her eyes to savor the taste of the strawberry cake. Thank you so much for the cake. It tastes wonderful. It's not very savoring. Her smile is like the blazing sun on a hot summer day. Warm and well, if it's blazing, it's going to be freaking melting and dazzling. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I reply with a slight grin, instantly pulled along by her kind smile and seeing how happy she is. Oh yeah, before I forget, I have to ask, do you work here at Origin? Kathy asks me with a tilt of her head. Yeah. I nod and reply to Kathy without a second thought. Why did you pick this cafe in particular at the time? Kathy puts the fork in her hand down and stares at me with eyes filled with curiosity. Oh, it's because this cafe is owned by my parents. Now I see. I thought shop manager Wang, who I was chatting with just now, was the owner. But then, if that's the case, where are your parents? They left to pursue a dream. Theirs, you could say. Their life motto has always been, he that travels far knows much. So the two of them travel the world to try out coffee from all corners of the globe, driven by their personal philosophy. After thinking about it for a moment, I told the tale of my parents' globe-trotting adventure and their singular pursuit of coffee. Listeners who are not acquainted with my parents would probably think that I was joking. So that explains it. That's why your parents left the task of running the cafe in the hands of shop manager Wang. Kathy intently listens to what I'm telling, occasionally nodding vigorously. Yeah, they thought that I was still a little bit too green. They weren't comfortable with giving me the full responsibility of running Origin by myself. So they asked Benedict, who has more experience running a store, to assist in managing Origin while I could learn by studying under him at the same time. Wow, I thought giving up your career to pursue your dreams was something that only happens in TV series. I guess that shows how little I know. To dedicate all your effort to the pursuit of a dream, that must be a wonderful feeling. I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but a slight hint of sadness and admiration can be seen at the corners of her eyes. I have seen the expression on her face mirrored in the face of Alvin Zhang and the faces of a couple of other friends before. I remember that it was right before high school graduation when everyone was busy filling out their university applications. At the time, Alvin was troubled, stuck between his parents' expectations and his own interests. Kathy's expression right now is exactly the same as the one Alvin had at that time. I think she might be currently struggling with a hard choice in her life. I wonder if they ran into anything interesting on their journey. I'm pretty sure they have. How about you come over sometime and ask them about it whenever they return to Taiwan? I propose with a laugh, seeing Kathy's slightly depressed look. I couldn't possibly do that. What if I interrupt them while they're trying to take a break? Kathy's ears turn bright red when she hears my proposal, frantically waving her arms around to decline. Then pick a time when they're not trying to take a break. That's not what I meant. Kathy protests quietly, pouting and looking down with a disgruntled look. I was just kidding. Relax and confident that they would be more than happy to share with you stories of their travels. In that case, I will look forward to when that day comes, Kathy says as she reaches out to cut off another piece of the strawberry cake, slowly putting it in her mouth. The sourish sweetness overflows her taste buds as she takes one bite after another, unable to contain herself from stuffing her face full of strawberry cake. Even the hot cocoa we brought Kathy just now eventually disappears without a trace as she swallows down the cake and the cocoa. But speaking of coffee, surely you'd automatically associate it with foreign countries, right? Kathy tilts her head and says to me after a moment of thought, "If you brought up the topic of drinks in Taiwan, you more or less default to boba drinks or tea, right? Now that you mention it, that does appear to be the case." I bow my head and ponder for a moment before answering her. "If that's the case, how did coffee eventually establish itself in Taiwan?" If we are to discuss this subject, we have to start from the Japanese colonial period. The moment I speak, I instantly regret my words. With what I'm saying right now, it will sound like I'm giving a lecture. Japanese colonial period? That's right. If I were to ask you what place in Taiwan is famous for its coffee production, what would be the first place that popped into your mind? Guken coffee? Ch1+2? Kathy is apparently not really confident about the answer she came up with, hesitantly giving her answer after much deliberation. Correct. Gukan and Yunnan was an important area for coffee production during the Japanese colonization of Taiwan. I ease Kathy into my explanation of what I know about the history of coffee in Taiwan. Correct, and the Japanese colonization of Taiwan happened to be during the late part of the Meiji period in Japan. At the time, Japan had been very proactive in learning from Western culture. Aside from pushing for the implementation of more modern Western reforms, the gradual westernization of items used in daily life like clothing and eating habits also followed. So apparently we're getting coffee lectures. Not a story, not a romance, coffee lecture. Benedict silently appears next to me and Kathy's table and speaks to us with a smug grin. He's holding a giant tray in his hands, taking a large pitcher and 3 clear glass cups from the tray, setting them down gently on the table as he explains to us. The pitcher is filled with ice-cold lemon water. You can almost feel it chill the room just by looking at it. Thank you, Shop Manager Wang. Shop Manager Wang is way too formal. Call me Benedict. Benedict smiles gently, pulling out a chair and sitting down next to me. Benedict, your timing is impeccable. I reach out to put the glasses Benedict brought in front of each of us and fill them with some refreshing lemon water. But of course, how could I be absent from a discussion about the origins of coffee? Benedict says with a smile brimming with confidence. That's true. I chuckle at the self-confident look on Benedict's face. So, due to this westernization movement, Japanese people began to eat steak using forks and knives, drink milk, and wear Western clothing. Yeah, just as Benedict said. Under that sort of social environment, coffee naturally began to be accepted by the general Japanese public, even becoming a symbol of civilization and modernization. Of course, besides these factors, reasons such as Taiwan's geographical considerations, the prevalence of coffee in international Europe and American markets and so on all played a major role at the time in the popularity of the coffee product. After all, culture and the market are inextricably tied together. One cannot exist without the other. Benedict crosses his arms in front of his chest, nodding his head in agreement to what I said. Is that so? That means coffee has been going strong since the Japanese colonial period. Yes, since coffee was gaining in popularity in Japan at the time, and with Taiwan under Japanese occupation, it would only seem logical to cultivate coffee in Taiwan. For this reason, Taiwanese coffee brewing methods in the early days leaned more towards Japanese styles of brewing, mainly using methods such as siphon and pour-over. Of course, since Taiwan was under Japanese colonial rule at the time... Wow, I learned a bunch of new things today. You guys really know your stuff. Kathy explains as she nods earnestly. These are things we deal with every day, after all. But let me tell you, if you plop down some of those English books of yours in front of me and Bowen, I wouldn't be able to understand a word, and I highly doubt that Bowen could either. Benedict laughs as he puts a hand on my shoulder, poking fun at my language skills in front of Kathy. You don't have to make fun of me. I resign myself to his ridicule, grumpily nudging at Benedict's arm. You're right. We each have different things that we are good at after all. Indeed. Kathy starts chuckling after watching the interaction between me and Benedict. Break time's over. We should get back to our stations. I get up to clear the table, urging Benedict to do the same. That's a shame. I was just getting started. Benedict says after sighing deeply, pretending to be sad.
那你慢慢享用，我先去忙了。
Well, take your time, I have some things that need tending to. I handily pushed the chair back, picking up the tray that Benedict brought over, and prepared to leave.
好的。
Okay, sorry for taking up so much of your time. There is a hint of apology in her voice, but it is overshadowed by an overwhelming sense of excitement.
是的，
Don't worry. I give her a polite nod before leaving. It wasn't until I returned to my station that I remembered how she enjoyed herself when she was eating. Do girls usually look like that when they are eating dessert? Benedict chuckles at the sight of me zoning out, and he starts to speak to me.
于恒，你帮我试试看，用带有草本香气的咖啡豆去泡杯缘起特调咖啡，好不好？
Excuse me. Okay. Bowen, can you try making me the Origin signature blend with beans that have some herbal aroma?
本香气的咖啡啊。
Coffee with an herbal aroma. Herbal aroma, then there's only that one. Get behind the bar and brew some coffee. Okay, we're going to drop a save, because if there's a one for doing a really terrible brew. Yeah, basically, Leaky, this uses so many words. This game has so many words. Ugh. Bored of water. But I've run out of squash. And my cold brew is in the fridge. Which I could get. Yeah, I don't know why the surnames have to be every time. It's like, I'm not doing that. But maybe... I mean, I know mine's out on the internet, but... It's not on Twitch at the moment, I don't think. Which coffee? This one I want to let Bowen make one of his special fresh fruit flavoured coffee. Put your own and beautiful latte out will cheer you up just by looking at it. What makes this bean special is its nutty flavour. Okay. Alright. Nicaraguan. Excuse me. $12 to $18, okay. Nope. $12 to $18, so there we go. Say 2.5 again. Well, we got it right. Well then, I leave it to the pros to brew. Yes. These coffee beans have a very balanced mixture of herbal aroma and the sourness of lemon. Seems Benedict is satisfied with his cup of coffee, nodding vigorously. For the next couple of days, a stationary front will be staying around the area of Taiwan. Rain always comes down fast and furious during this time, hitting people when they least expect it. Maybe they should pay attention to the weather forecast. The hot and scorching sun baking the asphalt road with a fury one moment is suddenly replaced by dense black clouds the next. Yes, please. Raindrops the size of pinballs fall from the high heavens. I observe the expected rain through the lacquered wood lattice windows. Pedestrians in the street forced to hasten their steps by the falling rain, with the occasional scooter passing by festooned in cheap disposable yellow raincoats. It's raining again, says Benedict, stating the bloody obvious. Benedict, who just finished serving a table, is holding a tray in one hand and leaning against the bar, staring at the dreadful weather outside the window. A slightly annoyed expression on his face. The door of the cafe is opened by a trendy girl, every movement she makes exuding an aura that makes everyone subconsciously do a double take. Moist strands of hair stick to her cheeks, her curved eyelashes blinking playfully, her lips painted with fiery red lip gloss. Honestly, this game. Her already snow-white skin, now slightly paled from the rain and wind, gives the girl a look of abnormal beauty. Ugh, this sucks. The girl mutters under her breath, furrowing her brow irritatedly, pulling at the drenched pants stuck to her calves. Welcome. How many of you will be joining us today? Benedict asks the girl in his usual gentle tone. Just one. Whoa, you're tall. The girl looks up at Benedict and exclaims, looks like the drainage got blocked again. Benedict chuckles at the girl's reaction while taking a look at the alley outside the cafe. Yes, I have had enough of how terrifying rain can get in Taiwan, I assume. I don't think I've ever seen a blood before coming to Tainan. Tainan? Says with a sigh. So you're from out of town then? Why don't you take a break and have a seat? This way, please. Does she not get offered a towel and clean clothes? Benedict smiles. Oh, hello, we've got another cafe latte. Coffee with milk. Ah, Tainan is a... I thought it was a typo. Okay. I didn't know this. I know nothing, honestly. Helping her order. Bone, one signature blend. I pour the finished black coffee into a mug, sprinkling in an appropriate amount of honey, pickled lemon zest before topping it off with some sliced lemon garnish. 5 minutes later, the meal arrives with her drink. I catch a glimpse of the girl as she very neatly arranges the order that just arrived. She then picks up her phone to snap quite a few pictures after seemingly being mindful of the lighting, before she prepares to have her meal. Very funny, Nikki. This coffee is amazing. It's way better than anything I've had before. Then, would I be correct to presume that you have tried many different kinds of coffee? Not as much as you'd think. Actually, I'm currently running a social networking account, so I'm somewhat of a food critic. Even though I'm still just a student, I want to grow my fan base using my own hard work so that one day everyone will know who I am. She smiles with confidence as she takes out her cell phone and pulls up a popular social networking site. The image on the site is the post she just made. The photos in the post are of the meal that was just delivered, along with pictures of Benedict and Bowen at the bar. Wow, so many likes and comments in such a short amount of time. Does this count as free advertising? If you start to get more customers later, then that would be all thanks to me. The girl playfully jokes. Bowen seems to have been banging his head on this problem for the past few days. I should go and ask him how he feels about it. Under the girl's watchful gaze, Benedict walks towards Bowen, who is sitting behind the bar reading a book. Noticing someone approaching, oh my god. Right, we're just switching tenses and people all over the place here. Can we not just stick to one narrator? I raise my head to see Benedict standing on the other side of the bar, a table's distance between us. Bowen, do you someone to promote the cafe? Although we aren't exactly lacking customers. Benedict quickly explains to me who the girl is and then asks me whether or not I would like to ask her for help in promotion. Promotion? I go over it in my head. If we can give the cafe some more exposure through a promotion, that will obviously be a good thing. Then why don't you go and have a chat with her now? And I glance up at the girl that Benedict mentioned and get up to meet her. Nice to meet you. I'm the Son of Origin's owner. I would like to discuss with you some details about the promotion. Hi, my name is Bella Chen. Bella Chen waves to Bowen Wu with a smiling face. Now, do I need to introduce myself again? Bella signals Benedict, who is standing next to her, and says, It's okay. Benedict already gave me the short rundown. I struggle to hold back laughter seeing Bella's expressive face. Excellent, then let's cut right to the chase. From the look of things, Bella appears to be a pretty straightforward person. Well, although I'm ashamed to admit it, I really don't know much when it comes to marketing, so I could really use some professional help right about now. In this collaboration proposal, besides my own selfish desire to have better business opportunities for Origin, I also hope to do my part in assisting Benedict. The problem is, I'm well aware that I barely know anything about promotions, and if I dive into it without the proper plan, I would only be dragging Benedict down. That's why I need to consult a professional and ask for assistance. Don't say that. I don't really consider myself a professional. I'm just doing something that I enjoy as a hobby. Bella raises her head shyly and tells me what she thinks with a smile. That's great. If it's something you enjoy doing, you must be putting extra care into doing it. Seeing the look of happiness irradiating from Bella's face as she talks about her own interests, corners of my mouth couldn't help but curl into a smile. Yeah, because it's something I like, so doing it makes me feel happy and content. It would be great if I could turn my hobby into a future career. Although everyone tells me that if a hobby becomes a job, it drains the passion out of it. Bella says as she somewhat awkwardly scratches her head. I think that even if reality crushes us all in the end, even if we lose our passion for our work, it would not bother me in the slightest. Because nothing we do in life is in vain. I believe that every choice we have ever made and every choice we will make becomes the catalyst that will shape our future. I say this to Bella also as a reminder to myself to not be defeated by reality, and you're saying this with a straight face? In truth, I realize that what I just said sounds like some self-help platitudes. Hearing it might grant you temporary peace of mind or even achieve salvation, but it doesn't solve any real problems. But I believe that if we adjust our attitude, we might see things from a different angle. So what if fatigue from work eventually grinds our passion down to nothing? Does it matter? At the very least, we tried our hardest. Afterwards, Benedict, Bella, and I chatted a bit more before steering the topic back to promotion-related stuff. And that's that. I think I now have a clear understanding of your cafe. Bella flips through the notes on the table, carefully reading the information she just scribbled down. That's basically it for now, but I still have some jobs from other stores on hand, so it will probably be next time before the heavy rain outside the window has turned into a light drizzle, the orange-red sunset shining into the cafe. The afterglow of the setting sun falls on Bowen's body, illuminating his eyelashes with the colour of glittering golden dust. Through the veil of sunlight, his pitch-dark eyes take on a lighter shade of grey. So silly. Bella's gaze follows the setting sunlight towards Bowen. The pen in her hand suddenly pauses as if frozen in place. Next time? Her voice abruptly stops. I curiously turn my head to see Bella with an odd expression on her face. I'll come over again next time to talk about it more. And to discuss the price, yes. Bella snaps her eyes shut and starts waving her hands frantically in the air, as though this is very nervous. Alright, we'll talk about it more next time. My mind is filled with questions. I can't really wrap my head around why she suddenly panics, so I could only watch in silence. Could it be because of my expression? I observe my face reflected in the glass. I'm not glaring at her, am I? Has everyone left? Bevis? Suddenly comes over next to me and starts talking. Who the frick is Bevis? Oh. Alright. Bowen, the most common method you use is pour over in small amounts, right? Can you show me? Bevis rarely asks me to do anything. He has me puzzled. Sure, of course. Even though I want to ask why, I don't, and I agree to show Bevis. Get behind the bar and bring some coffee! Excuse me. Which brewing method? I mostly use a gooseneck kettle. It's great for beginners and helps to control the flow of the water. I mean, yeah, but I think Disco Elysium went through some copy editing to pick out the duplicates and the typos and the missing words and the fact that it's a visual novel, so, you know, you could have the characters animate some of the bits, and it's obvious that they just said something because the name was at the top of the text box. I feel like it's a cultural translation, and this is how people talk in Taiwanese, maybe? and that literal translation doesn't work as well here for like Western culture. Show not tell, yeah, but just you know, there's a lot of words. Dump out the water, start flipping cards. Okay. I'm just gonna reset. And we still got an A pass. A pass? A plus. Sumatra Mandaling. Okay, and small child? This one at least is taller than the chair. You've proven yourself. Bevis gives the coffee a sniff and starts to grin. Okay, do I need to... Chapter 2, Loose Soil. I don't know what Chapter 1 was called, but apparently we're now in Chapter 2. Oh god. Time shown on the cell phone screen shows Saturday, 6:50 a.m. Like, do we need to have the time shown on the cell phone screen? Shows Saturday. Just, it's Saturday, 6:50 a.m. Ugh. I mean, that's fairly expressive. Oh, hello. We've got another thingy. Mocha pot. Rich mouse feel. Coffee ground, finely ground. Oh, hello. Man, there's a lot of tiny text that I honestly can't be... Is that a mocha pot? Oh, mocha pot. Okay. I can't be asked to read that. After class, I hurried to get back? Seeing the golden rays of the sun gradually sink below the horizon, I hurry back to Origin. Oh, and Alvin's voice calls from the bar. I can even see him waving enthusiastically at me. You're back. Benedict greets me with a smile. Yeah, I'm back. In that case, I want to place an order. Alvin excitedly browses the menu and places a check mark at the house signature column and hands it to Benedict. Seeing how excited Alvin is, Benedict can't hold on to his grin any longer as he takes the order. While Alvin is sitting there on the bar stool, his cheek in his right hand, he flashes me what he considers his most seductive smile. I eye the order in Benedict's hand and walk to the inner side of the bar to brew the signature blend that Alvin wants. Welcome! All the employees in the store shout at unison. It's her, Kathy Goo. My eyes are involuntarily drawn to her the moment she steps through the door. Ah, it's that customer from last time. Benedict ponders for a bit before recalling who Kathy was. Hi, I've come to visit again. She then nervously turns her head to look at me. I smile politely and nod to her. I go back to the task at hand, forcing down the jitters in my heart. But then I accidentally catch sight of Benedict, looking at me with a pleased smile. Seeing the smile on Benedict's face, I feel as if he can see right through me and my movement visibly stiffens. Oh ho! Alvin carefully observes the girl who just entered the door, somehow thinking he has seen her somewhere before. Oh ho ho! Alvin cranes his neck to glance at Bowen, who is busy brewing coffee, eyes flickering between Bowen and the girl. It then occurs to him that the girl in front of him right now is the girl Bowen was staring at in a stupor at the start of the semester. Oh wow! Damn, Bowen got game, yo! With Alvin having caught on, I can feel his eyes glued to the back of my head, causing shivers to run down my spine. My hands making latte art accidentally tremble, the originally elegant design inside the coffee mug now distinctly skewed. So the guy did see me that day. During this time, Benedict is leading Kathy to a 4-seat table in a corner. The table happens to be the same table Kathy sat at when she gave me that thank you present. The moment Benedict gets back to the bar, he sees Alvin sitting there with a toothy grin on his face, the corners of his mouth curled up so high that his eyes are barely visible slits. Alvin stares at Bowen, murmuring things like, "Hey, looks like our Bowen isn't as bad as we thought," under his breath. I can only pretend to be calm and ignore what I'm hearing when it comes to Alvin's ridicule. But unfortunately, I can feel the heat rising in my ears, throwing me off balance. Alvin, what's got you so happy? Benedict looks at us with a confused look on his face. It's nothing. This is the first time the screws in Alvin's head came loose. I say half-heartedly as I place the freshly smelling signature blend on the table in front of Alvin, then turn around to ignore him. Hey, you can't talk like that, Bowen. Alvin starts laughing even harder once he sees my reaction, both hands still gently clutching at the steaming hot mug of coffee. Is it because of the lady just now? She was drenched from head to toe last time when she came in while it was pouring outside. Wait, what did happen? Alvin exaggeratedly asks with wide eyes. Not too long ago, I believe. It was around the time of the last wave of stationary France. Is that so? Alvin strokes his chin as he seems to be thinking of something. Bowen even purposely made her own one. No, I didn't. I accidentally choke on my saliva hearing what Benedict is saying. Damn, you gotta teach me that, Master Bowen. Alvin suddenly sits up straight, palms together, looking at me with pleading expression. He still has that brilliant smile on his face that can enchant others, but I can only sense an overwhelming feeling of malice from it. Enough of this. With a face like yours, you could probably get girls pining after you even if you don't say anything. I roll my eyes at Alvin in frustration. So that's how Bowen sees me. I try rubbing the goosebumps off my arms as I watch Alvin fall into silence. Just then I catch a glimpse of Kathy walking towards the counter with the menu. Excuse me, the menu. Just give it to me. I take the menu from her, check the markings on it, then turn around and pass it on to the kitchen staff inside. You can pay after the meal, I say to Kathy as I get ready to brew the signature blend coffee Kathy ordered. Got it, thanks. Kathy nods her head and goes back to her seat, picking up an English novel and starting to read. You've got some excellent taste, Bowen. She's a nice and quiet girl, Alvin says to me with a straight face, propping up his chin with both hands. I place the coffee I just brewed on an empty tray, planning to deliver it once the meal is ready. I place the brewed coffee on an empty tray, intending to wait until the meal is ready before delivering them together. Didn't it literally just say that? See what I mean about it's just... Did no one read this through? Did no one play it through? At that moment, Layla comes out of the kitchen with a freshly made meal and places it on. Well, a lot of people working at this cafe, considering how busy it is not. Places it on the train and... Hang on, I think, based on the assumptions of me, the person that just joined this chat thing, she. So, you know, if those are the pronouns that they want to use, then that's fine, but I feel that's a typo. Deliver it to Kathy's table. After a split second thought, I say to Layla, let me do it. Layla stares blankly for a moment and raises, see, there we go, her head, so it was a thing, to look at me and then lowers her long eyelashes. No problemo. Her rosy lips curl slightly and a faint, barely perceivable blush appears on her cheeks. Alvin sits to the side with his chin propped up. Oh my god, everyone's propping up their freaking faces and chins with their hands. You don't need to know this. This is knowledge I don't care about. watching the scene in front of him unfold with bated interest. Oh, this is going to be good. Alvin chuckles as his gleaming eyes fall upon the people conversing in the cafe. Huh? Hearing Alvin's remark, Benedict turns his head to face him without pausing the hand he is wiping the table with, an expression on his face that shows he's clearly confused about what Alvin said. Watch. Alvin leans back lazily in his chair, hand resting on the back of his head with a mysterious smile on his face. I thought he was sitting at the bar. That's not a chair, that's a stool. He's going to fall off doing that. Could you help me with something? Huh? What's up? As we previously discussed, Benedict and I aren't very good at English, so I have some of these books on coffee that I could use your help to translate. I watch Kathy as I awkwardly scratch the top of my head while talking. If you're willing, we can talk about payment, I say to her with a smile. Sure, but I would need to see the content you want me to translate first before I can make sure that I'm up to the task, since I am still learning myself. So when can you give me the books? Then I can confirm as soon as possible. It looks like Kathy has accepted my proposal and seems eager to start. I'll get the things ready today, then you can start tomorrow. I open my mouth and say after a brief moment of consideration. If that's the case, would it be okay for me to come over again tomorrow when I don't have class to go over the material? Sure. You can set your own schedule based on your own situation, then translate once you have free time. No problem. Thank you. The topics of our previous discussion all seem to revolve around coffee. I feel like you really like coffee, huh? Did we now? I must be pretty boring to talk to, right? I say as I laugh dryly. Not at all. I was just curious. Is there a particular reason? Why do I? What are you doing? Mummy is brewing some coffee. Does my dear little bone want to try some? Something to drink? Mum pours some coffee out of the kettle and into a mug. I reach out my hand to take it, putting the rim of the mug up to my nose and sniffing it. Smells nice. Smells like our house. That's right. It's the smell of our home. My mother smiles as she caresses the top of my head. You want to try? I nod hesitantly and take a small sip. The bitter taste overwhelms my mouth in an instant. With a disgusted look on my face, I swallow one sip after another of the supposed taste of home. You don't have to force yourself to finish it. My mum watches me with a doting chuckle. I shake my head and swallow the last drop. So bitter. Coffee is pretty bitter, just like how life can also be bitter, but coffee can also be like our home right now, warm and fulfilling. Mum laughs as she hands me another mug filled with a fruity scented coffee. I take a sip, the cool sensation unfurrowing my tightly nipped brow. A smooth mouthfeel making me unable to resist taking one sip after another until the mug is empty. I know, right? Considering he said that his regulars haven't shown up since his parents went away. It's like you've got, 4 staff members? I mean, yes, you have to spend money to make money. That is a thing. But still. Ugh. I want a nap. Alright, we'll do another half hour and then I think I'll just end stream early because this game is making me feel even tireder than I already am. That was delicious. You want more? More! No can do. Kids shouldn't have so much coffee, it'll keep you up at night. And if you stay awake at night, the boogeyman might be out to get you. That's a blatant lie. Mother says with dramatic flair, leaving me frozen in fear. Ha, look at you, you're so adorable. What, terrified out of my mind? Seeing me shivering like that, Mum gently cradles me in her arms, laughing as she tenderly rubs the soft strands of my hair. Why couldn't you just tell the kid the truth, that if you have too much coffee, then you will stay up late, and then you will not sleep, and then you will be an absolute zombie the day after. And you will not feel very good. rather than making up lies about a freaking boogeyman if you drink too much coffee. Because why do you have to terrify kids? There are enough real life boogeymen without, making shit up. She's laughing at him. Because this is the scent of my home. It's because of my parents that I fell in love with coffee. You thought the boogeyman was creepy and the boogeyman wants you to dance? Isn't that an episode of Buffy? It's because of my parents that I fell in love with coffee at a young age. I'd also had nightmares for years. Is that so? What's the matter? You don't look too well. Nothing really, it's just that on some level I envy you. Envy me? To be honest, my dreams are not really supported by my parents. Kathy's dreams? Last time she said it was... Oh, foreign language teacher? I don't remember. And did she tell us? I'm gonna go with that. A dream of becoming a foreign language teacher? She looks at me with confused eyes. Your dream of becoming a translator? Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, I wanted to become a translator, hoping everyone could overcome the language barrier and enjoy many more wonderful books. She never told us that. I would have noticed had I read out translator. Anyway, it's great that you have something to do that you want to do. Why are your parents against it? I stare uncomprehendingly at Kathy, who's a depressed look on her face. Kathy laughs hopelessly. They think that there is not a lot of money to be made in this line of work. My parents aren't particularly happy with the university I got into. To tell the truth, I chose a university far from home behind their backs and secretly applying for the Department of Foreign Languages. When they found out, we even had a falling out that lasted quite a while. Our parents all wish that their children can succeed and become something in life, hoping that their kids can get respectable jobs in the future. I grew up under the expectations of my parents during my school years, but this isn't what I want. I know that realistically I must be able to feed myself with my job, but my hope is to be able to use what I have learned and what interests me to find a job that can support me. I don't want to be lost in a world where you only study hard for the sake of having a prestigious degree. Actually, I think so too. I feel awed by what she's saying, but then I smile, staring resolutely at her. If someday you find yourself trapped by reality with nowhere to go, you will always be welcome here. Thanks, I guess, Kathy says with her head lowered awkwardly. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me or not, but out of the corner of my eye, I think I can see a slight blush on her cheeks. Seeing the way the girl in front of me is acting, I inexplicably feel a bit bashful and unsure of where to put my hands, barely able to stand straight. You should take a break. It's almost 9 o'clock. See you tomorrow. Yep, see you tomorrow. Kathy waves goodbye and turns to leave. Dreams and reality, huh? I dwell on it for some time, laughing bitterly to myself. I will definitely work hard to promote it. Do you have a selfish mind? Being selfish provides me with more motivation. What? Oh my god, we've got yet another person. Cappuccino. Type of food. Do I know the difference between a cappuccino and a cafe latte? The foam. Right? Possibly cinnamon powder. Milk foam. There we go. And cinnamon powder. I know nothing about cooked coffee, but I do know stuff. Angela, deliver this to table 6, please. Benedict, busy with preparing the latte in his hands, calls through into the window that connects the back of the bar to the kitchen. Alright, I'm on it. A loud and energetic voice answers from the kitchen. Then a girl wearing a cafe uniform appears beside the bar, scooping up the tray, holding the meal order, and heading towards table 6. Angela He is one of our new employees. She only works at Origin when she doesn't have class. Huh? Is that you, Kathy? Angela suddenly points at Kathy and exclaims as she is about to retract her hands that held the tray, having delivered the meal. Kathy, who had her head down and was busy translating, jumps at the out-of-nowhere exclamation, abruptly raising her head. I notice the commotion happening over there and turn my head to see what is going on. Angela just yelled, "Kathy, right? Angela, is this where you work?" "Yeah. I've always wanted to ask you out for some coffee, but our schedules never match, so it never worked out." "So this is the cafe you were talking about before. What a small world." Kathy responds to Angela with a smile, the two of them chatting away like long-lost friends, seemingly enjoying their conversation. "But I've been coming to Origin a lot these days to help Bowen with translations. How come I never run into you before?" "Angela, we need you back in the kitchen. The dishes in the sink aren't going to clean themselves." A cold and piercing voice comes from behind Angela. At the sound of the voice, Angela turns her head to face its source. "All right, Layla. Kathy, I've got to get back to work." "All right, go." Kathy's gaze unintentionally meets Layla's ice-cold eyes. After holding each other's gaze for a moment, Layla nods her head and gives Kathy a small smile before heading back into the kitchen to work. What a charming girl. Kathy, with her cheeks slightly flushed and admiration flowing from her eyes, seems to be drawn to Layla's aloof charm. A few days later, there was a slight change in the weather. You can sort of feel the effect the stationary front has on the weather, with drizzling rain outside the window. If it weren't for the AC, the hot and stuffy air would definitely be unbearable. With fewer customers in the afternoon, I take the opportunity to take out one of the English books I asked Kathy to translate, trying out some of the unique brewing methods and blends in it. The flavour actually does feel different from the way I usually brew. "Well, thought I'd drop by to see you, Bowen, you rascal." I ignore his jabs and take out a new coffee mug, filling it with the freshly brewed coffee, at the same time making another signature blend like the one just now, placing it on the bar. "New flavour? Looks like I've arrived just in time," Alvin says as he sits down in his usual seat, lowering his head to take a quick whiff, followed by a small sip, closing his eyes for a while to feel the coffee's rich flavour before parting his lips to say, "Needs to be sweeter. For a sugar fiend like you." I wordlessly stare at the guy in front of me with his eyes closed, pretending to be an expert. "You're the weirdo here. You never make anything sweet enough, even though you're from Tanan. For your information, I have perfectly normal tastes." Alvin's eyes suddenly pop wide open as he starts arguing with me like a child throwing a tantrum because he can't get his candy. "I mean, dude, you bought your coffee, just put some freaking sugar in it and stop whining." Sure. I take out a couple of sugar sticks from beside me and toss them onto his table. "Knock yourself out." "But I have to admit, the taste is pretty good. It has a special sort of aroma, makes you want to stop and savour its flavour." Maybe it could use more variety. I lower my head in thought and respond to his feedback. "Maybe, I guess," he absent-mindedly says while looking out the window. "Welcome." Bella bursts through the front door of the cafe with a beaming smile on her face, looking like she's having a great day. "Here's Mr. Wu, busy right now. I brought something over that I need you to check out," Bella says as she pulls a lightweight laptop out of her bag. I'll be right back. I'll be right there. If you don't mind, you could wait for me at a seat next to the bar." "Sure." Bella sits in a seat next to Alvin, places the laptop on the bar, and spins it around to face the inside of the bar. It just said Alvin was sitting at a table. Apparently, I'm in nitpicky mode. And I'm tired. This is not a particularly engaging novel. There are a lot of words. It is making me feel tired than I already was. So we have so far collected mocha pot, filter cups, latte coffee, espresso cappuccino. That's it. I think these things are the These items are the things that we're meant to be collecting. I observed the girl with a serious expression in front of me out of the corner of my eye as I placed the coffee mug on the table. After boiling the filtered water, I expertly start brewing the coffee. After preparing a signature blend for Bella, I placed the coffee mug in front of her. Ooh, I just knocked something over. Hang on. Okay, I think probably see where the end of the chapter is and then finish and get a cold bath because I think everyone's just falling asleep here today, including me. This is the draft of the article that we're planning to put on the site. If you have no problems with it, I'll move on to discuss further details with the presentation about the presentation with you. I take the wireless mouse from my hand and start browsing. As expected, the content is informative about Origin. Her words leap off the screen with a life of their own. With just words and pictures, she is able to draw people in through the virtual web to create the feeling that Origin wishes to bring to its customers. Perhaps this is why she has such a large following. Alvin secretly sizes up the girl sitting next to him, then looks at Bo, who is fixed on a laptop, and decides to engage the unknown girl in conversation. Hello there, my name's Alvin. Alvin shifts his body to the side to face Bella, trying to be friendly. Hey, my name's Bella. Bella quickly puts down the coffee mug she was just sipping when she hears Alvin's voice, and turns her head to greet him. Take it easy, make yourself at home. Speaking as if this is your house. Quietly say without taking my eyes off the screen. Well, must have said the same thing. What's the difference between you saying it and me saying it? You don't own the place. Alvin raises an eyebrow at me with a confidence that no one can prove him wrong. You guys must be very good friends, right? Nice, Bella says, laughing. Yes, Mum, we are the best of friends. He's a good-for-nothing freeloader. Is that how you see me, Bowen? Yeah. Speaking of which, have I met you somewhere? I feel like I have, or am I mistaken? Maybe you've seen one of my posts. Bella doesn't answer. Instead, she fishes her cell phone out of her bag, quickly scrolls through it, then shoves the cell phone screen in front of Alvin's face. Have you seen this before? Right. That's exactly it. Alvin stares at the cell phone screen in surprise. On it is Bella Chen's personal page. On the thumbnail, you can see a charming girl dressed in classical attire, quietly standing next to a window. The brilliant lights from the street are reflected on the side of her face, forming a gorgeous visual feast. Classmate of mine's a big fan of yours. Really likes your posts, even trying to snatch my phone out my hands this one time just to up your follower count. Alvin says with a bitter laugh. Oh, is that what happened? So did you follow me or not? Bella squints her eyes slightly and stares at Alvin with a mischievous grin on her face. With you standing here in the flesh, how can I say no? Alvin laughs as he digs his cell phone out of his pocket, tapping it open after entering Bella's name into the search bar and pressing down hard on the follow button without a second thought. Welcome, Miss Chen. Benedict comes out of the kitchen, wiping drops of water off his hand as he greets Bella Chen. It's the shop manager. We're no strangers. Call me Bella. Bella says with a playful tone, her enchanting voice a delight for those who are listening. I'm done, I say as I hand the wireless mouse back to Bella. So how do you feel about it, Mr. Wu, now that you are done reading? Bella Chen asks, timidly with her hands clutched tightly together. The anxiety she's feeling is palpable. No need to be so formal, calling me Bona's fine, I say, seeing the nerves dripping off Bella. If we can call each other by name, it should reduce the distance between us, correct? At least that's what I think. Okay. Bella happily nods her head after hearing my words. I think what you wrote is great, and I have no issues with it, so Isabella. I watch Bella as I tell her how I truly feel about it. Excellent. Bella smiles as if a great weight has been lifted off her. I thought you were used to working with other businesses. I didn't think you would be so on edge. Benedict, who is standing next to Bella, stares at her and says in shock. You still get nervous? Every single time I put my work up for the client to go over, I feel like I'm being stripped naked for all to see. To show that she really was nervous before, Bella even shakes her body in an exaggerated manner. I get you. It's the feeling you get when you're about to take a big test, right? I still feel super tense every time I arrive at the examination hall for a test, even after making flawless preparations and studying super hard for it. Alvin echoes Bella's comment with a serious face. Wow, I wasn't even going to make fun of you, and you still managed to dig your own grave, I say to Alvin with a wisecracking voice. Off to the side, Benedict laughs loudly after hearing my remark. You son of a... What's that supposed to mean? It means that you sure you ever seriously studied or even prepared for a test? Still laughing, Benedict pats Alvin on the shoulder like he's trying to comfort him. You two better watch it. Alvin starts vigorously waving his arms around and loudly protesting to us. So you never prepare her? Bella bursts out laughing at the sight of Alvin's tomfoolery. All right, that's enough. No more talking about me. Alvin slams the table forcefully, hoping to distract everyone with a loud sound. Getting back on track, I think you did an excellent job writing it. You don't have to doubt yourself so much. I shake my head at the sight of Alvin. With the corners of my mouth slightly raised, I tell Bella my thoughts with a smile. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Actually, I often think the only way I can help the stores I visit is through promotions. So I'll be happy if I can help everyone in some way. After hearing my praise, Bella's face instantly turns bright red and tells us gratefully. But I was thinking, if what you wish is for a breakthrough for the cafe itself, then what you need is probably to innovate the way you think. Bella opens her mouth and asks us after a moment spent in deep contemplation. Yeah, I think so too. I nod my head in agreement to Bella's point of view. But your work promoting us is also necessary. That's how we get more people to know about us and develop new customer bases. Benedict gently says to Bella. Like he's trying to cheer Bella on, slowly revealing his thoughts to Bella. Yep. Bella seems to read between Benedict's lines, curling the edges of her lips and giving the sweetest of smiles. This is painful. Very, very painful. Innovation, huh? That's the odd part. Alvin has one of his rare serious expressions on his face as he mumbles to himself. Yeah, we have to realize copying someone else's success is a very terrifying thing to do. I say quietly, watching the shops scattered across the street. That's right. A good example would be all the egg tarts and unmanned claw machines littered all over the streets of Taiwan a while ago. Bella says as she chuckles dryly, reminiscing the egg tarts that once took over Taiwan by storm. Seeing the success of others and chasing after big trends, thinking you can become the next big thing. Not realizing that throwing yourself blindly into a market is a terrifying thing. Because you are not doing the right thing at the right time. So, as the popularity of the trend flips over time, so will your customers, and that is when you go out of business. When you all put it like that, I can see how important innovation can be. Alvin shrugs, shaking his head slightly as he makes a remark. You were right. I don't think I recall ever seeing you so down before. The dejected expression on Alvin made me want to poke fun at him. Because I always thought all Boehm had to do was follow in his parents' footsteps in running the store, and he could take over Origin and run it without an itch for forever and ever until he dies of old age. Alvin mumbles glumly, his head sinking lower and lower. When we were kids, Bowen and I would often see Bowen's parents come up with a ton of ideas for new products and would debate how they could do better every time they tried out something new. Or we worry about trivial things like logistics, workers, budget, design, and so on. Because of that, I used to think that Bowen's parents had already weathered the tough parts. Alvin finished speaking and gazes at all of us with an embarrassed look on his face. I see, so that's why you thought once Bowen's parents had Hand over Origin to Bo and it would be smooth sailing. No further need to expand the business. On hearing Alvin's thoughts, Benedict chuckles and says to Alvin warmly, "Yeah, I didn't think that. Actually, even once your brand is already stable and has established a reputation. If you don't want to be obscured by the market, or even if you just want to expand your business, you will face so many prickly situations. After all, the value of a brand is accumulation of hard work over a long period of time. That's why we want to make our brand have more persuasiveness and staying power, right guys?" Bella Chen gives her conclusion with a beaming smile after seriously considering our discussion. That's right, that's also where the value of a brand lies. And I guess that's all we have to discuss today, right? Yep. Thanks a lot. I put the mouse in my hand down and smile. This is nothing at all. Bella's cheeks slightly blush as she laughs and speaks. Welcome! I ready myself in preparation for the next batch of customers. Benedict also returned to his station. I'll be off then. Yeah, sure. As Bella returns her laptop to her bag, I have already prepared the menu and am ready to show the customers to their seats. Meanwhile, Alvin sits there browsing through his phone without interest, head down and looking like he's bored out of his mind. Bella, on the other hand, sits there sipping her coffee, sneakily gauging Alvin. Although Alvin notices Bella's occasional glances, he isn't interested in engaging in conversation. Alvin? Bella asks quietly. Hearing the sound, Alvin turns to look to the left where Bella is. She has her hand cupped to her face like she is mimicking a megaphone. What's up? Since I first saw you, I've been wanting to ask you, aren't you that hotshot sprinter who can run really fast? Alvin eyes the girl in front of him with question marks on his face. I'm good at sprinting, but I don't think I'm that good. Oh, it must be you then, no doubt. The girls around me always like to talk about you. Realization suddenly hits Bella and she stares at Alvin with a mysterious look on her face. Alvin uncertainly watches Bella's smiling face, a chill starting to trickle down his back the longer he holds her gaze. You think I should tell the girls that you often show up at Origin? Bella starts appraising Alvin, with a conniving smile on her face as if she's cooking up a scheme. Bella right now looks like the big bad wolf who is about to trick Little Red Riding Hood. All she is missing are the fluffy ears and the wagging tail. Huh? Alvin goes speechless, glaring at Bella in a panic. I was just kidding. I'm not that boring. Bella sticks her tongue out, returning to her usual manner of talking. I just have something I could use your help with. Bella blinks her pretty eyes and stares expectantly at Alvin. After taking the customer's order, I return to the other side of the bar to watch Alvin and Bella fooling around, their actions unexpectedly bringing a laugh out of me. Might as well. Oh, hello. We've got coffee art. Cafe Macchiato. Okay. Teaspoon of milk. A cup of espresso. Alright, 7 achievements so far. Might as well use the opportunity to practice blooming with the pour-over method. Okay. Another coffee tutorial. For a petal-shaped dripper, choose a light roasted coffee bean with a flavor that is hard to extract to practice. Okay. I will read the instructions for petal-shaped drippers and make my mind practicing this more difficult dripping method to brew a more flavorful coffee. And the bar and brew some coffee. Mostly use gooseneck. Okay, alright. Set that. 3-1, blah blah blah. Start flipping cards. Okay, oh my god. Wait, we did it wrong. Oh no, we're doing it wrong. Okay. We still got an A+. Ethiopian yoga chef. Seems to be a success. Looking at the coffee in my hand, I smile confidently. Chapter 3, Taking the Initiative. Okay, well, we're gonna pick this up. Siphon. Okay, and we're gonna save. Oh, we're saving in all the odd numbers apparently. And I'm gonna stop here because we did 2 chapters. I am struggling to get motivated with this game. It is. It's not just because I'm tired and it's hot. This game is written in a way that uses way too many words and really required an English copy editor to go through it. I'll be honest. You know, it's been a diverting couple of hours and hopefully everyone at least has had a bit of a respite. Stay hydrated, everyone. Keep as cool as you can. I'm gonna go get a cold bath and then some food, I think. What are we doing? I'll be back on Tuesday. I haven't got my streams planned yet for that, but it's July on Tuesday. We hit our Twitch affiliate anniversary on July 4th, which is Friday. That's 5 years of streaming on Twitch. Blimey. But for now, we're just gonna go. I'll bid you adieu and say I've been Joe, otherwise known as Angel SK, and thanks for watching. Bye.